I'm Tash. I'm the owner of Kurvy Kouture Co. I started Kurvy Kouture Co. in 2021. We just moved into this location in April of 2023. I was looking for an outfit for something, and I was looking within my scope of Lethbridge, Calgary, Canada, and I was like, do we really buy all my clothes in the States? And my husband was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, that can't be real, because I've never felt any boundaries with having style or the kind of clothes I want to wear or who I am. And I was like, huh. And then one morning I just woke up and looked at my husband. I was like, babe, I think we have to start a store. And he looked at me and was like, okay. And I was like, okay. And so then we started Kurvy. So growing up as a Black woman, a Black child, I was always different than everyone else that I was surrounded by. A little backstory, my mom is white, my dad is Black, I'm biracial. And so all of my siblings in my mom's marriage are white. And so my body was different, my hair was different, I was different. And so my whole life, the messaging was, we could do this to your body, we could do this to your hair, we could change this and make it more acceptable, make it more pleasing to the eye. And it was always about how everyone else would see me. And when we first started Kurvy, our message was like, clothes, you deserve clothes. That would have been like my message. And as we got into year like 1, probably 4 months in, I was like, hold on. Like, people don't understand that their body's good. That right now in its state, whatever state it is, it's good. And it was such like a thing that knocked me down, like, oh my gosh. And then I started seeing all the like messaging that we get that tells us that we're not enough. Like, every magazine at the checkout is like, lose 5 pounds, detox. At the YMCA, they had scales on every floor in the gym, and in every area you could always access a scale. And I was like, why on earth what is happening here? The gym is supposed to be about movement, about building your body, feeling good, because bodies are temporary and they change from infancy to old age. And so at the core, my body's good because it's the vessel that carries who I am. So my body's good, your body's good. The ripple effect has been amazing. I actually like glow from the inside talking about this. So I've seen it in my own family, in my extended family, in my nieces, in my nephews, how they treat people, how they resonate with it first, how it just like makes sense to the younger generation that like, obviously your body's good. Like it's so great. One lady in particular who first started shopping with me from the very beginning, she would come in and she would be like, I need a 3X. And I was like, you do not. And she would fight me on it. And I was like, so you're allowed to try on this. And I would give her a smaller size. Throughout the years, she's realized that her body isn't a problem. And she's not a 3X. She was actually a 1X. And that it's okay to have clothes fit your body properly. And you don't just have to like hide your body. And then like people send me DMs or like the best is like the handwritten cards that I get dropped off and I have in a drawer that are like, this is how you helped me. I just faced this, so those mean the world to me. They're my like constant reminder. So we had a fashion show. It was amazing. We had 15 women over size 10 get into 3 different looks, and we shut down the street and they walked on the stage at Festival Square, and we were able to utilize Festival Square for like a positive impact and include so many local businesses, like too many to even name, that supported it, which just like lets the community know that like, if you go to this store, you're safe. So even though I'm plus size and I might not need something from a men's store like Populous, I now feel comfortable because I know they supported this to go buy my husband like handmade amazing leather goods, right? And so what that did for the community more than Kurvy was like bring us all together and celebrate and show these women that they're good and like show the children that they're good. And so I tried to like invite as many of my kids' friends as possible to just like be a part of this and realize like your body's good right where it is. I feel like if you're willing to put yourself out there and ask for support, the support will be there. But first I had to put myself out there. And for me, it was intimidating because the first experience I had with a non-business downtown wasn't positive. But then as I made friends outside of like myself, I'll say, I had to step out of myself to be vulnerable, to go and introduce myself to business owners and tell them what I was doing. And I was so happy to see how many were like receptive. I love being on the corner here on 4th and 6th. It's so great to see what our city has to offer downtown. It's truly amazing. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness, what would I like to see happen? There's so many things I'd like to see. So I would love to have safe, inclusive spaces for everyone. I would like to see the buildings that are not being utilized properly. For like the dreamers to be able to start, because we all need somewhere to start. Like I didn't even know how to approach a landlord or approach, like how do you get a store downtown? Like that kind of education needs to be taught when you want to be an entrepreneur. We don't talk about the things you can do with your dreams. When you're working together, you can't be stopped because it's like, oh, I know George from there. And I know, like you just talk about the people that you love, or when newcomers come downtown, you build relationships with them and you're like, you have to check out this store, you have to go there. You get to share your love of downtown. Personally, I am very much a cookies and crime supporter. They are the hidden gem in the city as like their originality for flavors, their like diversity in cookies. Can I say that? Because their lemon one, they're definitely a hidden gem. I just love them. They have a great atmosphere. It's very inclusive. Previous to this, I did have a store on 5th Street. And the move here was really quick. I call it like a midnight move. Seamless, right away, so that we didn't stop revenue. So we advertised for an event night, and the women buy tickets to come to the event night. And blindly, without any information, these women all bought tickets for the event. They all showed up at the store, it had paper on the windows. So they all showed up, and one by one I would let them in, and they saw an empty store. And they were just like, what is happening? What is happening? And then we had hired California Drinks limo company to come and pick us up and take us for like a cruise around the city. Like so they could kind of like guess where the store was going to be. And then we turned the corner and everyone for sure was like, it's got to be the old Esquires. And when we passed it and it was still not that, they like kind of were like, what? And then as soon as we passed Reeves College and all the lights were on, the store was fully set up like you see it today, with my husband and my kids and my family all in the store waiting for these women to come into the store and see that this was their space, that we had created the most beautiful space that we could for them so that they know that they're worth it and they're worth the time and the investment to come shopping and to have a safe space, which is really important. It was the best thing ever for them to come in and like, it was unbelievable, like to have this space for women size 10 and over. It was amazing. It is amazing. I just wish like every Monday morning we could do that. Like, do you want to see where we get to shop now, guys? It's a little bit of a dream. A lot of people ask me why I don't focus more on e-commerce and why we invest so much time in a brick and mortar, because it is so expensive. And it's for the people to learn that they deserve this. They deserve to come in and have couches to sit on while they're trying on clothes, and like everything in here is built with Kurvy in mind. If you don't have girlfriends to shop with or anyone to shop with, you do here, because we just make that happen. And that's like the core of what we're doing, is like making everyone feel amazing.